Previously on Talk That Talk.
Smarter than hackers, right? So we joke about it all the time. Going to State Fair Classic, you got people screaming your name. People with
it's almost everything you can say. I have like mental anxiety. My coach fuss at me, you know what I'm saying? Or like he being mean to me, or like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like you can really, you know, give so many excuses. You know what I'm saying? I guess I don't know. I never really thought about like, you know, I said I take people feelings into considerations, and I don't know, man. It's just a tough one. I guess trying to find out, like, you know, you don't want to, especially in this new generation, you don't want to like make anybody feel bad. But sometimes some stuff just be BS. Like how you said, the girls with the paper, they've been new had that they had that paper. So when you get on them and embarrass them in front of the team or something, now it can cry. You know what I'm saying? She hurt my feelings and this, that, and the third. But when all she would do is told you was right. So.
So for me, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got you.
So the difference is for me, when you set standards and certain systems in place that you're like that across the board with everybody, then it's not there's no justification for hazing or favoritism or glazing or favoritism. Like for example, if you have a like prime example, like in middle school, high school, they have chair tests. So you telling me a chair test is anxiety? Well, it may be if you didn't practice. But my thing is this: it's one aspect to have grace, but you can't panic and cry every Friday. Nah, because maybe it's not for you at that point. And that's the fine line because I gotta, like Portia say, do these checkoffs. So you know every Friday you have this test. So you need to prepare for it Monday through Thursday because you know it's gonna be Friday. And I think once you start doing that and you tell kids up front what the deal is, like either you gonna fold or you gonna rise to the occasion. And most when you're consistent and honestly you develop that relationship and rapport with those students, they realize, yeah, bro, like every Friday we're gonna get this chair test. So I cried one Friday, he let me make it, but it's still gonna be here. So I might as well get it over with. And that's how I honestly get away with some of the things. I'm not gonna say get away, but that's the standard that I've set. You're gonna have a chair test every Friday. So all that crying and hooping and hollering, what you're gonna do is for naught. You still gonna do it. So you're gonna do it now or later, but you're gonna do it.
Let me say this, man. A good therapist is not gonna validate that because you were unprepared and you were called to perform and you failed. We're not gonna put that blame or that onus on the person that you failed in front of. The onus is on you. Like the therapeutic process is a whole lot more. That's why, you know, it mental health is getting watered down. It's getting watered down. It's becoming very, very ineffective.
I'm so glad you said that. I want to pay you to come to Norfolk to say it. This coming from somebody who goes to a therapist once a week. Let me tell you something. This is they playing in our face. That's what they doing. Everything is mental health now. It's becoming so trendy. It's becoming just honestly just trash right now, and it's going to continue to be a hot button topic because it's still fairly new, and a lot of folks are being able to use it to monetize it. Like I tell anybody who's starting therapy, if your therapist has never pissed you off and made you want to walk out, that ain't the right therapist for you. It is taking your money. Like your therapist is gonna piss you off because they want to make sure that you're being honest with yourself. Like, so for a student to say, you know, I was called to play and I wasn't ready, and that was, you know, anxiety inducing for me. No, when you didn't practice and you showed up, that's when your anxiety started. Not when they asked you to play, because you knew you had to do it anyway. You didn't prepare for it. Now, if you had played and done well, you'd have this rush of wonderful, awesome feelings inside of you. You'd be on top of the world if you prepared for it, but you chose not to. So it's all in that person's preparation and how accountable they want to help. And one other term I gotta say is that I despise with every being of my soul, that your truth thing. There is no such thing as your truth or their truth, or no. There's only the truth. Your truth is a delusion. Okay, that's you being delusional. Why you going off for your truth? There's no such thing as that. Okay, things happen only one way. And whether you want to be honest about it and recount the way it happened, that's on you. But it didn't happen a 1,000 different ways, and one of them being the one that benefits you. No, it doesn't go like that.
Hold on, Justin. Let me just say this. I think, and as somebody who's coaching in college right now, that's the biggest thing that I see. You're saying no therapist is going to validate that, but there's no therapist involved in these conversations. What happens is there's a situation that happens, a student becomes overwhelmed, or they're held accountable, or called out for something they were supposed to have done and didn't do it, and they say, I have mental health issues, and because it's such a movement now, everybody is taking that at face value, and you can't diagnose yourself. I'm sorry, that's not how this works. I don't understand. And I just really think now, because they know that it's something that people are hypersensitive to, that people are paying more attention to, that is getting more validation in higher education, at least from what I see, that's their go-to. I couldn't do this because of this. And if I say these key phrases or blame it on mental health, you can no longer hold me accountable.
I totally agree with you. I do not discuss symptoms with children, because all you're doing is telling them what they can get away with. So I never do that with anybody that's a young person, because they're gonna use it to their advantage, like you just said. But no, it's losing a lot of its effectiveness, because the truth of it is a real thing. You know, like it is something that a lot of people really are suffering with, and I'm not gonna change. I've been called every mean name you could think of, but they keep coming back. And I'm not going to change the kind of therapist I am, because I didn't stroke your ego and make you feel good today. If you came in and we had something for you to work on last week and you didn't do it, I'm going to let you know that. If I feel like you're being manipulative and blaming somebody else and you full of shit, I'm going to tell you are full of shit. Straight like that. So if you don't like it, I mean, you can push on. But
so is it a matter of you? Because you said something earlier when you said like, I guess the assignment being or practicing, I guess, should the anxiety come between the time of them getting ready to practice for this performance? Like, I guess, so if I'm saying, like, if I got a performance coming up next week and I'm practicing, should it come between the time me practicing and me being so scared that I'm gonna fail, versus as if I fail and then it comes after I get reprimanded, I get told myself?
When I felt anxiety is when I wasn't ready for something. When I put in a proper preparation for it, when I practiced and was ready for it, I wasn't nervous. Of course, you're gonna be like, okay, I gotta get, you know, I'm hyper aware, I'm hypersensitive to what I have to do, what the task is at hand, but it's not the same as being anxious. Butterflies in your stomach is not anxiety. Just because I got nervous because, you know, something got my way, that's not anxiety. Anxiety is for an extended period of time. That's not panic attacks, anxiety, all those things, depression. They're not something that happens to you when something bad happens, or they don't just happen and go away that easily. These are sustained things that people are dealing with on almost like a daily basis. Like true depression will keep you in bed for weeks. You know, that will have you like, it's a really dark place. It's not just, I'm sad today. You know, if you're having a bad day and you go have your favorite meal and you feel better, or I'm having a bad day, I go see a movie and I feel better, you weren't depressed. You were having a bad day. You see what I'm saying? So to go back to your question, the person that prepares for it and is ready to perform, because you know you got to do it as part of being a part of the program. That's what you signed up for. So that anxiety may not show up for them at all because they're ready.
Yeah, as I said,